and welcome to Flappity Flap Podcast with your hosts, Brandon and Sarah.
Hello.
Suppose I better get rid of this cough drop.
And you were giving me shit about my iced tea.
Well, because it was just like for like 10 minutes. Yeah. Make sure to wet your whistle. Whistle. Oh my gosh. So it's been a long time.
It has.
People, we've been through some shit. Not really. We've just been kind of on hiatus, hanging out till we moved. Now we're moved.
We went through some shit.
Oh yeah, that's true. We did.
Not anything really serious, but like, you know, COVID sucked.
Yeah.
Charlie's business.
Charlie getting sick.
Charlie getting sick, pooping blood, going to the hospital at like 2 a.m.
Yeah, that sucked. It was like an all-nighter.
Yeah, and the hospital was like an hour and a half drive away.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
that was pretty cool.
We got through that, and then a week or a week and a half before we left, he got sprayed by a fucking skunk.
He got sprayed by a skunk.
And you kind of basically got sprayed by a skunk.
And I got the like...
Offshoot.
Yeah, I got peppered a little bit by it.
You got the, scatter shot from that booty? That stank boot?
Yeah. And did you want to talk about it a little bit, or you want me to talk about it?
Go ahead, you're doing just fine.
Well, you guys know what a skunk smells like on the highway. But if you guys haven't been sprayed by a skunk or had an animal sprayed by a skunk, it's completely different than the smell on the highway.
Up close and personal, 100% undiluted concentrate, pure concentrate.
Yeah.
Before you've added water.
Added water or just time.
Stirred it up in the pitcher.
Time, distance.
Yeah.
Nasty. The animal not being alive anymore.
Nasty ass shit.
So it caught me off guard because I don't know how I didn't even know just the information or like the reality that it was different. Uh-huh. I didn't expect it. So it kind of like had me frozen. Like, what the hell am I smelling?
Yeah. Are we sure this is a skunk? I mean, it looks like a skunk. It smells like a skunk. It reacted like a skunk. I don't know any other creature that would spray like that.
Yeah.
But it was just so...
One of our friends explained it really well, or described it really well. It smelled like a tire fire. It smells like burning hair and garlic.
But add garlic. Like trash. Add garlic to your tire fire.
Yeah.
Every time I smell it, it just puts me in a bad mood. Because, like, Charlie's had about 10 baths now. And my mom told us, she was like, her boyfriend's dogs have been sprayed like 5+ times. And at this point, they know. So she said peroxide, baking soda, and Dawn in like, kind of specific measurements. And then some other guy the other day told me vinegar. But I don't know if you want to put that on your dog's fur. But anyway, after, I think like 5 to 7 baths. And then me also then putting apple cider vinegar on his chest and face where he mostly got sprayed.
But also, he is an Aussie. And
then going to a full grooming session.
So if you have
Stank.
If you have a normal dog with normal hair, it's, like
a Labrador.
Like a Labrador or a pit bull or a wiener dog or basically like any kind of dog that's not an Australian Shepherd with just like dreadlocks underneath like another coat of hair that's like fluffy and holds on to everything.
Yeah. So it's a thick coat, and then you have the undercoat.
You can't part his hair to get to his skin.
Yeah, getting him wet, like putting him in the bathtub the other day and just like pouring water on him and trying to get him wet and get it through his fur.
Well, that's why
that was the first step of the battle.
That's why I think the skunk issue is really bad with him, because if he had hair like your mom's rat terriers, like just really thin, normal, single coat, normal, you could probably scrub skunk stink out of them really easily. But Charlie is like a fucking, it's like he's wearing like 5 layers of wool. Like, of course the bottom layer is still gonna reek.
Yeah, it just keeps seeping up. And then being in the car with him for 10, how many hours?
It was a 12-hour day.
And it wasn't horrible, but I think him being hot and stressed.
We moved states, so we were in the car for 12 hours with a skunk dog.
It just was like seeping up And then, I put like apple cider vinegar on his chest and his face, and then took him to the groomer, and they gave him the full treatment, and he smelled better. But then as like the time wears on, you just smell it more. And it's like, I think, like you said, mostly on his face.
Yeah.
But just when he comes out of his crate, it like creates this like puff, because he's got it in his crate now, even though I changed the blanket out, and it just does this like poof.
Well, and there's definitely like a sensitivity to it. Like when you become aware of something, and then it's like, oh, I'm noticing it.
Well, because
I'm noticing it really
gone.
hard.
You're hoping it's going to be gone, and then so when you smell it, it's like, fuck.
Like if you guys out there have ever squished like a sugar ant, how they smell like rotten pineapple or something. Like once you smell that for the first time, like deeply smell it and recognize it, now like from that point on, you will like pick it up.
Yeah, I think I've probably told this before about how my sister did that. Like, I think not intentionally.
Yeah.
Squishing it and then having it on her fingers and then smelling it. And she's like, then I became so attuned to it that like an ant was crawling on my bed, and I sat up and said to my boyfriend, you know, there's an ant here. It. And he was like, the fuck?
She has ant senses.
She does. So yeah, that's just been like an ongoing thing. And then
and it's on my clothes too. It's on my shirt. So we'll go for a walk. Out. I won't smell it when I put my shirt on, and then once I start like sweating and warming up, it's like, what the hell? I stink.
Well, then we were packing stuff up in the moving van, and I'm like handing you stuff, so I'm right at kind of like shorts level, and your shorts had it. And was it your plaid ones or your other pair?
Yeah, I was directly.
And I was like, God, every time I go to hand you something, I'm like getting it in the face.
I was directly behind Ding Dong when he decided to attack the skunk, so I got spritzed with it as well.
Man, that was such a shitty night.
He got it right in the mouth. It looked like he had been sprayed in the chest with yellow spray paint, and he was foaming because I think he got it in his like mouth and eyes.
Yep, absolutely.
It was crazy.
And I was bent over trying not to lose my lunch.
Yeah,
and
you
like,
were.
My poor mom, I'm just like, she's like, just go get more peroxide.
Sarah was in the garage like.
It was the closest I've come from like to have a smell cause that, or like a nasty thing. I was like,
it just was like burning hair to me, like, you know, just like coughing and like, can I get some oxygen?
Yeah.
With that skunk
and skunk smell is like just filling the whole room like a cloud. What is on my finger? I thought that was a booger, but it was like tape.
It's a fierce smell, but also at the same time, you know, Charlie, you didn't have to charge that skunk.
You keep saying that like they have a choice. They have a choice. So many other dogs do it. I think from their instinct, they don't have a choice. Like we would go, not doing that again. Like someone said, oh, Betty won't be doing that again. I said, if that skunk came back right now, 10 minutes later, he'd be right back into it.
He'd do it again. Yeah.
Like, come at me, bro. Let's finish this.
Well, I think he chased it twice, but then he was probably to the point where he was like, I can't see. My entire face, eyes, nose, and mouth burn.
Yeah.
I'm going to rub all over the place and foam.
It's still like right now he's like laying down next to me, you know, so he's a few feet away and it's like wafting up.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, skunks, be careful.
Never
keep your
that again.
Ding dong dogs away from skunks because fuck, they just don't think. They just go after them. But we need like a coward dog that's like afraid of skunks.
Yeah.
Afraid of other animals.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I concur.
So what else were we going to talk about today?
Well, yeah, so it's just, you know, it's been a minute. So lately we've been on like a kind of horror movie or thriller kick. I don't like slashers. Like I'm not into Friday the 13th. Yeah. Actually, I liked Psycho, but not like what would you call it? Slashers? Gore? I don't like, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street. I remember a kid years ago for some reason bringing pictures from that movie.
Really?
It's because we were talking about the skunk smell and I'm smelling it a little. And I'm a little bit sleepy. And then
I thought you were thinking about gore.
I am. And it's making me want to Ralph. Anyway, I don't like that.
Don't Ralph. If you're going to Ralph, put the good blanket on the bed.
Thanks, babe. You know, You're always thinking. You're always looking out for me. Anyway, so I just wanted to be scared, but not like grossed out. So the first movie I think we watched was The Ritual, which I thought was based on a Stephen King, but now
it was pretty cool.
Was
like
it?
4 or 5 British gentlemen go out into the bush.
British. Yeah.
And they find
Swedish countryside or Swedish mountains hiking.
Yeah. So do you want to do a spoiler warning or?
Yeah, I guess depending on what you're gonna reveal. But basically, yeah. Okay, so spoiler alert. They're planning this boys trip, and then their friend gets moited in a convenience store kind of robbery thing.
Yeah.
And,
we don't have to run through all the deets.
Well, one of the friends just feels really bad because he kind of was like hiding behind an aisle and didn't help him when he could have. But he probably would have been killed too. But
he would have been killed too because he was drunk. He was like very drunk.
Yeah.
And the perp, what would you call him? The mugger?
Sure. Yeah.
The robber?
Yeah.
He had a machete. Yeah. So like, what are you gonna do when you're drunk and have a wine bottle?
Yeah.
Really think you're going to take on...
they might have been able to overtake him, but...
He was drunk. He would have been fucking dead.
But, like, it's hanging over the whole movie and their group of friends, and they kind of, like, blame him. But at first, like, at least one of them is trying not to blame him, but really they kind of do, or they question, like, could you have done something more? So you kind of are led to believe that maybe... I was thinking, like, is this him somehow, his psychology? Because throughout, when they're fleeing this creature, which is I don't know if they come up with a name for it. It's kind of like a Wendigo thing, but...
So, spoiler, it is the bastard son of Loki.
Oh, thank you. I completely forgot that part of it.
And it's like this tree monster Wendigo-looking thing with, like, antlers and
part deer.
It's weird. Its head...
Hands, hands.
It has, like, a face in its chest. Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's cool, though.
When you finally see it, it's just like every horror movie, like Jaws, like everything, where by the time you see the creature, yeah, it's scary, but the mystery and the tension and the what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Is it their imagination or is it a real thing?
The fingers creeping around a log in the distance or a tree in the distance. That's fucking...
Yeah.
Gives you the...
Yeah. Well, and just the buildup was good. Obviously, like they do stuff that you're, in every horror movie that you're like, a normal person with a brain wouldn't do this. Like, just follow the path. But obviously forces are conspiring to like get them lost or, having them take a certain course. One of the friends hurts his leg and then
the whole time is just that though. It's just like bad decisions that normal people wouldn't make. Yeah. Lack of communication when normal people would communicate those things.
Well, and resentment because of the friend that died and them kind of not like having this full trust with each other. And
I thought it was a great movie though.
Did you? You got really frustrated with him at the end because they think that they're like getting close to the lodge and then the audience is like, there's too many fires. That's not what you think it is. Like, don't go there.
What?
That's what I thought because they saw the fire, the like lanterns or whatever torches thing.
It should have been a red flag because there were runes carved into trees everywhere, and it's like that's not a lodge.
Not the lodge.
Those aren't lodge torches. Those are witch torches.
What torches? Runes? Sorry, yeah. So then they get there and there's all these like weird gaunt people, and this weird kind of. There is a lodge of sorts or cabin thing with like a path and
the upstairs has their like original like corpses
or like effigies of them that like keeps them alive or something.
Outside that are connected that are actually like mobile are I think like their spirits or some shit. Because I think their actual bodies are what are in the lodge.
But they look like they were made of I guess they did kind of look
they were corpses.
They kind of also look like they were made of sticks and leaves and mulch and
if you watch
moss.
It again, they are bodies.
I guess I kind of was watching through my fingers. I was doing that thing.
I was too. I had to look away because movies these days are pushing the envelope of we're going to make you as uncomfortable as humanly possible. Because like back in the day, they'd be like, okay, we're going to have the audience on the edge of their seat for maybe 2 seconds. And then boom, we're going to jump scare them. But now it's like, we want the audience on the edge of their seat biting their fingernails for a good like 5 fucking minutes before something happens.
And then when you're sure the jump scare is going to happen, it doesn't happen. And then when you've like unclenched,
relaxed,
it happens and you poop yourself.
It's basically like a constant ball punch through the entire movie.
What's the equivalent if you don't have balls? Yeah.
I was gonna
good one.
A boob squeeze.
Yeah.
A
boob squeeze.
A boob chop.
Yeah. Boob chop. Totally.
I don't want to say.
I'm the C word.
Yeah.
A clit clap.
A clit clap.
A clit chop.
Kick.
Blah, blah, blah. Anyway,
it was a good movie, though.
What would you give it like out of 10?
I would watch it again, I think. I would probably give it like an 8 or a 9.
Okay. Wow. So
what about you?
Yeah, I'd say like a 7. So Rafe Spall is the only like name that I know, and then the guy who plays
Rafe Spall.
Oh God, is he Thomas in Downton Abbey? It's like the only 2 things I've seen him in. He was a shit in Downton Abbey, which you've probably not watched.
He's
not a butler, but he's like, I don't think because the butler is another guy. Anyway, he's just kind of a shit.
Okay.
But I'm sure he has, I think he has some sympathetic background. But
it was a good movie, though. I like the flashes between, his guilty situation at the liquor store, flashing between like the forest.
Yeah, like he's running through the aisles of a liquor store, but clearly like the floor is forest floor, and
because like Loki or the witches keep like messing with his mind.
Yeah,
and keep bringing him back there.
Well, were they, or was that just him like having like being in a half sleep? I guess it probably was, but I just kept thinking this is him creating this from his guilt.
I think it was,
but then it's
obviously his guilt was part of him, but I think it was definitely like Loki creating those, or Loki's bastard son creating those visions.
It was weird because, another spoiler, he was marked in the first cabin they stay in that they find. He was like marked with like prongs or something like in his chest. Which the other
witches had.
Which marked him as like, I don't know, like not
a witch.
Not to be, oh really?
Not to be like, not to be sacrificed.
Yeah, as long as he bowed to whatever the creature's name was.
Which was another weird thing, because like, why are you killing these people? Because the bastard son was out just murdering people, sticking them on trees, but like not eating them, just kebabbing them onto trees.
Yeah, I like that as a verb.
But like, why?
I don't know.
I mean, normally things would like eat and stuff. Are you like sacrificing them to your father?
Well, maybe Loki? The way it eats is like, taking their souls or their lives. Like, I don't know that it fed.
Yeah, that's possible.
Just because we have to eat with our mouths and our digestive system doesn't mean other creatures don't get nourishment another way.
Fair enough. You
gotta be a little more woke. You gotta be a little more.
Is it woke? I don't know if that's the word you're looking for.
Yeah, tolerant of other alternative lifestyles.
Okay, I'll try harder.
Including soul suckers. Is that all you want to say about that one?
I'm done with that one.
Then what did we watch? Were we watching The Conjuring? Or did we watch something in between that? We watched The Conjuring 1 and 2.
There was a doll thing.
Yeah, that was The Conjuring. Annabelle? So, oh gosh, I forget what the couple's name is. The ghost hunter exorcist couple.
That was another one where I was having to look away a lot of the time. I find myself having to do that more often than maybe I should as a grown man.
It's been a minute since we watched
when you have the main character like
Ed and Lorraine
there's
Warren.
something making knocking scratching noises in the basement in the middle of the night, and also this weird like doll went running by the hallway earlier, but I'm gonna go down and check it, and all I have is a match
Yeah, you'd be running out the front door
match.
screaming and never come back. I mean...
Not even screaming, just like, I'm going to leave the house. We're going to, sell. Or make good decisions.
Yeah.
Close the freaking basement. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Close the basement. Don't go down there.
Yeah.
And if you find yourself, like, waking up in a sweat naked in the basement or whatever the hell happened.
Yeah.
Like, why are you still there? Just bad decisions.
Well, I think it was with the first movie, it was a stretch for them. They had like 5 kids or something, and it was a big financial thing for them to buy that old farmhouse, and they couldn't just leave it.
But when you have scary monster ghosts running around that everybody can see and is aware of, and nobody's communicating, everybody's acting like they don't exist, and you just wouldn't do that. The kids would be like, I saw this fucking thing. Children are afraid of Santa Claus. They would not be cool with ghosts.
Were you afraid of Santa Claus? Because...
Probably.
Okay, I wasn't afraid of Santa Claus until I got sick one time and hallucinated that the paper Santa Claus on my bathroom door was like attacking me and angry. And then I was a little bit afraid of Santa Claus. So I get it. They are probably, yeah. I don't know.
That was a long way around for you to just agree with me.
Yeah.
Were you afraid of Santa Claus? I don't think I was.
Fucking nerd.
Oh wait, yeah.
But I
was afraid of the paper Santa Claus.
Because when I was hallucinating, we like made the Santa Claus. I'm sure I've told this story too.
Why were you hallucinating?
Because I was sick. I had like a fever.
Oh.
And then I had this like Santa Claus that we had made in school. It was like paper and probably connected by brads or whatever those things were. And then I wake up and instead of like smiling, because I hadn't made him an angry Santa, he was like frowning at me. Like his eyebrows were down. I remember that. And I was like, this isn't right. This isn't good. And then I was like screaming for my mom, and then finally got up and like ran down the hall. And I was also having auditory hallucinations because I could hear like the thump, thump, thump of him chasing me down the hall. And it was all a hallucination.
That's pretty spooky.
Unless it was real.
Unless it actually happened.
Yeah. But nobody saw or heard it but me. Yeah. That was a bad time.
Sounds like a bad time.
Anyway.
Sounds very vivid.
Yeah, it was. Oh, God. I never forgot it. And yet I wasn't afraid of Santa Claus because I knew that wasn't the real Santa. That was like the evil twin Santa. It only existed in my mind, apparently. Anyway, Ed and Lorraine Warren are played by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. Probably butchering that. They're like ghost hunter exorcist people, and they hear about this family. The family gets in touch with them, and
real people though, based on real
people, yeah. And they the family's having all these issues. I mean, doors slamming shut, the creature, birds and their dog die, spoiler, and also just trigger warning with animals dying.
Don't give a shit that their dog dies. They're like, oh, our dog died, moving on.
Well, I think they just assume it has a heart attack, but it's like all these animals are dying like in the same spot on the same side of the house. And
they're just like,
exactly. Literally.
Bunch of fucking doy-doys. The whole lot of them.
So basically, the Warrens come to investigate and, help them out. But, you fucker. But it was a lot of, Jesus Christ, how many beverages do you need? How dehydrated are you?
I've got an iced tea. And I've got...
a porter.
I've got
a black butt porter.
A coffee mug with porter.
A Jurassic Park mug, even though we have plenty of pint glasses with Black Butte. Is that how you say that word?
Yeah,
porter.
Black Butte. Porter.
From
Oregon.
Bend, Oregon. Don't call it Oregon, apparently. Not that we do.
Don't call it Oregon. Call it Oregon.
Oregon, yeah.
Oregon.
Like Oregon Trail. Like organ donor.
Like organ donor?
Yeah. And just for those of you out there, including my Kaiser member rep who was on the phone the other day, Oregon is the one above California.
Ooh.
Yeah, It's not in California.
It is strange to be an American, and not wear Not where? Not know where.
Not know how to talk?
Yeah, not know how to talk the English. Yeah. Not know where Oregon is at.
But I guess from Mississippi?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that makes sense.
Does it?
I guess it makes sense to know your side. It depends
what you mean by that makes sense.
If you're in the South, you probably know all the surrounding states well.
But if someone said, we moved from Tennessee to Kentucky, I wouldn't say, oh, Kentucky, is that still in Tennessee? No, I'd be like, oh, that's a different state. Oh, okay. Like maybe I don't remember where exactly it is on the map.
She thought Oregon was in California?
I said, yeah, we moved to City, Oregon. Insert city name, Oregon. Yeah. And she was like, oh, is that in Northern California? And I was like, no, it's in the state of Oregon.
That's a little strange.
And then I paused and I was like, the one above California. Oh, okay. And how do you spell that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah. That's bad.
Anyway. So how did we get on that?
Talking about scary movies.
Black Beauty Porter. Black Beauty Porter.
Uh-huh. It's delicious. It's basically just like a mild stout. I never knew what porters were.
Is that what it is? It's nice. It's smooth. Goes down easy.
Mm-hmm. Not too malty. It's delicious.
All I know is tastes good. Go down.
Tastes good. Easy. Yum yum.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of building up of the tension. I liked the Conjuring movies. I liked the first one a lot better. Some about cellars or basements. They did that in the Haunting of Hill House, where he goes down the dumbwaiter. What the hell are you kids doing? What the fuck are you kids doing? And he gets stuck down there.
You wouldn't do that as a little kid. You would freak out the minute the freaking door closed or the minute you started to slip down.
Although I do get the allure for a kid of going in the dumbwaiter because it's like a ride. But it goes badly and he ends up going down instead of up. But definitely, I think a lot of the bad stuff in American Horror Story, at least the first season, happens in the cellar of the house. And it's just a place of horror. And so just lots of, noises happening, kids being kind of yanked on in their beds and thinking it's the other kid. And then, a bad smell. Stop farting.
Stop farting. Yeah. It really smells. What are you talking about? So there's ghost farts. Yeah. I guess.
Well, I think it's because it's supposed to be the smell of a rotting corpse. Wow. That's just permeating the house.
And then stop touching my feet. That, I think that bit gave me fucking chills.
Like her being yanked down in the bed and then.
That's actually why I made the ghost cartoon.
Oh. From The Conjuring?
From those, probably The Conjuring. Nice. Just the spooky, yeah. Why are you and the clapping and the fucking, what do you call that? The little closet.
Oh, they were playing hide and seek. The what? What'd you say?
In that closet.
Oh, in the wardrobe. Yeah. So they do this hide and go seek, and it's you get 3 claps or something, or it's like Marco Polo a little bit, to just give you a hint about where the person is. And then you see these big, manly arms come out of the wardrobe and go. Oh. And her daughter that she's playing hide and go seek with is 5.
And she's got her hands covering her eyes, and she's heading toward this wardrobe with these man arms clapping. No! I'm getting chills just thinking about how fucking creepy that scene was. Creepy.
But I thought they were good. I liked the second one a little less. The second one I thought was kind of cool. It was based in England, but I think there was just more going on. It was more like The Exorcist or something, as opposed to this slow, well, not even slow, but just steady buildup of tension in the first one. And I think because in the second one, you know who they are and you know what's going to happen. You know from the title, but the first one was definitely good. I don't know if I want to watch the third one because I think each one gets a little worse, at least the ratings that I've seen. And I don't know. I thought they were still really enjoyable. And just like the ghost story, the nun in the second one, there's the ghost of a nun. She's fucking terrifying. And if you look up the picture of the lady, this poor lady, she just has a nose on her, like a Wicked Witch of the West, but worse.
There's probably a nicer way to say that. She has
a very aquiline.
She has
very pointy, long
a
schnoz,
large, pointy,
proboscis,
and it's like downward pointing. So like it comes down kind of far, almost like. I mean, you guys could just look her up probably, but it's almost like a Noel Felding kind of nose, but even more pointy.
But the way they made her up, she's fucking terrifying. And she's like looking at this portrait at one point of her that I think her husband for some reason has painted. The Warren, Ed Warren has painted apparently and done this amazing job. And it's fucking terrifying. Like, do not put that thing in our house. What are you doing? It's like you're summoning her. Anyway, I forget the role that the nun plays in the movie. But just good tension and build up. And but definitely the first one is better.
That's usually how it is. Usually an idea is kind of more together and more pure for the first time. And then maybe beyond that, you're just capitalizing a little bit and you have it's a little bit of fan service, like we want to provide you with stuff, but our ideas aren't quite as good as the one idea, although it was based on quote unquote based on true
I think they're
events,
all based on
even
true events. I mean, I could see you, I don't discount like that kind of stuff happening, but the detail and the like malevolence, I don't super believe in that.
Monster nuns just walking around. I don't know about that.
But I do think they're good stories. I mean, reading the Amityville Horror, I think some people said it was really badly written, and I just thought it was such a good, quick. It was an entertaining read, and it was very similar. The Amityville Horror, Amityville.
Amityville. I think you might be caffeinated again.
Amityville Horror.
Yeah, you're saying it way too fast. I just figure.
I think most people have heard of it.
But if they haven't.
The Amityville Horror.
Thank you. Fuck.
It's very similar to the first Conjuring movie. So I think it was just like maybe there was like a pattern of moving into these old farmhouses, having a big family, and the kids and the adults are getting terrorized. But in the Amityville Horror, it was just interesting. Some of the stuff was really interesting that you're like, why? It would be weird to kind of manufacture it. And like the dad could not get warm in the house in the book. And I think the movie was terrible and it was like made in the 70s or 80s. He just would have these fires burning all the time and just feeding wood and just could not get the house warm or could not get himself warm. And I thought that was an interesting aspect that like, just every member of the family kind of had.
Could be because it wasn't insulated.
But no one else felt, could be because he was burnt out, could be anything, but no one else felt that like he did. And I thought that was kind of interesting. And then, what the hell? Oh, must be creaky floor. I thought Charlie farted, but I don't think his fart would sound like that because he doesn't have butt cheeks.
I've only heard him fart once. Charlie the dog.
Right.
I've only heard him fart once while he was pooping, and it was like, what the hell is happening? Because it was like...
Probably a diarrhea.
It was like... Just to give you a little preview.
Yeah. Oh, preview?
Preview? No, not a preview. A little example. A preview of what's to come.
The coming attraction. So what did we watch after that? I don't think...
We watched the Johnny Depp...
I wouldn't call that... I wasn't going to include that because it's not a horror.
It had a fair amount of gore in it, but yeah, it was more of like scary. A comedy, it was campy. Funny.
Yeah.
What Dark is Shadows. The director's name?
Tim Burton.
Yeah, Tim Burton. One of those.
I was going to talk about the Prey movie.
Prey.
Which kind of got me excited about the Predator franchise again because it wasn't perfect.
Cool. I liked it.
But I thought it was really interesting putting it in the time period they put it in, which is 1700s Northern Great Plains or something like that with the... Oh, what was the tribe? Did they specifically say?
Some native tribe.
Shit. Hold on. Gotta look it up.
It starts with a C, I think.
Oh my gosh. So they keep calling it a prequel, which I guess makes sense, but it just feels like it's a Predator movie set. Comanche.
Comanche.
Okay. It just feels like it's another movie just set in a different time period. Like how the first one was set in whatever it was. Where were they? Colombia? I was only half watching last night when we were playing Minecraft.
And the Predator looked a little more primitive than in like the Arnold movie.
Oh yeah, was he kind of like? Well, is it because his camouflage was kind of blending in with the more natural landscape?
Well, his headpiece was like skull-like.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't have...
It wasn't metal.
He had gadgets and stuff, but they were a little more like... They just looked a little more primitive, even though they were still futuristic.
They were pretty sophisticated. I mean, that whole net thing that sliced up the...
Yeah, that's true.
I thought, I know you were getting frustrated with her because she would just do that horror thing where they just stand there and stare with their mouth open.
Yeah. Like when the... Spoiler.
Yeah.
Like when the Predator is right in front of her, ripping apart another animal, and she's just like... And it's like, fucking move, turn around.
Maybe it's fair, though. I mean, I feel like that's what I would do, and then I would just get killed because I'd just be frozen with fear.
I would look, but then probably want to just scramble the fuck out of there.
Mm-hmm. So basically, the main character is a young woman who I think, her family or the tribe is wanting her to, what's the word? Like comply or what's the word? Like,
they want
conform.
To the male-female roles.
Yeah, or just like stick to like what her mom and her brother think she's good at, which is like medicine and, maybe preparing food, but
not hunting.
Yeah. So she wants to do this thing, which I don't think I could pronounce it.
It's your first hunt.
The ritual, but it's like hunting something that's hunting you.
Yeah.
And so like I think he chooses the mountain lion, and I mean she's trying to kill the mountain lion too. That's like terrorizing the tribe and like the local wildlife. I guess there's terrorism tribe. And drags a guy away, and so her.
You don't have to run through all the.
I'm giving some detail because otherwise you're just kind of giving a review or a opinion of something they don't know the basic story.
Okay.
Don't you think? Clearly not. Anyway, so her brother is able to kill the mountain lion and get named like the war chief, and then but she's just constantly being dismissed, like, you guys can't think I can do this, and like, why do you need to prove that you can do this because everyone thinks I can't.
There's
and
sexism.
She's just got, and it's what she wants to do, and she's pretty brave, and so she like takes, is it a hatchet or a tomahawk?
A tomahawk.
And she like makes like a kind of like a lasso for it or a tether.
And she's so fucking skilled with the tomahawk, but she never uses it.
Yeah.
She doesn't use it for the mountain lion. She doesn't use it for like a lot of the time. She has her bow out.
Does she use it on the predator eventually?
She does, I think, eventually.
Because I think they want to like save it up. Otherwise, you'd get like,
she would be skilled.
This is very commonplace.
It's just like she was a freak with the tomahawk.
She was, yeah. And I was being naive, I guess, and thinking that is real. The way she had it, like on a tether, and then would like pull it back to her.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool. Whatever effects they did.
I think because they're so weirdly balanced, you would probably pull it back at yourself, and it would like hit you in a weird way. Mm-hmm. You would be probably chopping yourself with it.
And also, there's only so many of those you can take.
Throwing a tomahawk is based on like distance. You have to like really know your distance from the target. Otherwise, you're going to have...
To get the head to hit.
The handle hitting or the back of the axe head hitting. Mm-hmm. So like you have to know your distance. And I mean, she was just like glancing and then winging that tomahawk and like hitting targets, which seems unrealistic.
Well, I think if you do something over and over and over and over,
but
and
also
over, your muscle memory kicks in. But
also you got to remember she's only like freaking 16 or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know if they said how old she. You think she was only 16?
I don't know. She was.
I mean, I'm sure
young.
In real life they always like make them younger than they are, and they're like 30-year-olds playing.
But you know what I'm saying? Like she hasn't
had enough time to
using a tomahawk for like a decade.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah. But if she's doing it every day.
Yeah, it's true. You don't have one of them Game Boys.
Right.
Or a Nintendo machine.
Well, all I can say is, spoiler alert, I'm glad the dog made it. I think I saw a meme the other day that was like the hero of the movie, and it was showing the dog, and I was like, I think that means the dog made it, because And I was like, okay, because I was like, I think if something happens to the dog, I don't think I'm gonna be able to watch it.
Movies love putting dogs in to have them just killed.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
Like
to get you emotionally invested, to get certain
I guess
dog people emotionally invested.
It just makes me want to turn it off, though. Even with some of the wildlife that was getting killed, it was a little upsetting. Like, I don't know. I won't. Just a heads up that, it's like wildlife that's hunting. It's predator wildlife, but it was a little, stupidly enough, a little more disturbing than seeing like humans getting, their spines ripped out. It's like,
I think it depends on who you are. Some people are more affected by watching animals get slaughtered.
Yeah, and I think seeing a creature that's close to a dog get that treatment is like, even if it's like a vicious thing that's, hunting, it's a little disturbing.
Yeah.
But
oh, and they made the French guys like the worst humans.
Well, that's fair, right?
Possible.
I'm just kidding. Well, and the fat French guy, the fat French fur trader or fur trapper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made them
easy.
like
Is it like an easy target? Low hanging fruit. And then the one guy who was kind of translating just like the worst teeth ever. Like that guy must have just one of those, things that you go buy at Target or whatever. That's just like an easy Halloween.
Like a hillbilly teeth type thing.
Exactly.
The ones you buy in like one of those ball machines, those quarter gotcha machines or whatever.
But I just thought like the environment was really cool. It was, obviously different than the Colombian jungle or wherever the fuck Arnold was and not LA where Danny was.
Kill me. And then the predator's just like, these look pointy.
Yeah. But he's going like chop chop chop. I can't do the clicks of his little man.
Pointy.
So I think we didn't rate The Conjuring. What do we rate The Conjuring? I'd rate The Conjuring a 7, and I'd rate Conjuring 2 like a 6 or a 5. But I'd rate Prey like an 8 or a 9.
I would recommend watching it.
Because even though it has frustrating things, like you're just standing there, and I know that's a device because we just need to build up and, have something bad happen to your friend or just have you just build up the tension and the frustration.
There always has to be a narrow escape. It's not interesting to have them go, I'm going to be smart and get the fuck away from this thing.
I'm going to kill this thing as soon as I get the chance and then done. Like that wouldn't make a movie.
That's another thing that, I find myself talking at the TV like, fucking keep going at him. Why are you just standing there looking at him?
He gets so mad.
Chopping him in the fucking back of the head.
And I just have to pause it and give him a look and go, it's not real, right? I know, but they have to make, and he's like, okay, I'm sorry.
They make you kind of like connect with these characters, and then they make these characters so fucking stupid sometimes. It's like, what are you doing? Just like chopping them once and letting them slowly stand up. I'd be hacking that fucker in the head over and over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't, if you got him to like kneel down and be like, oh, you got me, now I'm going to slowly rise up. No, you aren't going to have the fucking time to do that. I'm going to be chopping you.
Get down and stay down.
I will chop you. Like, why? Why do they just like stand there? I'm going to let you stand all the way back up. And then I'm going to let you ready your weapon.
Yeah.
And then,
we understood that. We got that in like the 90s or like with Terminator 2, where it's like, why are you standing there letting the guy, the frozen bits melt all back and cohere into one and become the thing, and then you're still standing there with your mouth open going, oh, he's coming for us. He's coming back for us again.
When you could instead be like taking everything you got and just stabbing him with everything you have.
So I get them doing that then, because maybe it wasn't like tried enough. Like maybe they hadn't done it enough. But now in 2022, we get it, and we're done with that. We don't need that. Yeah.
But also, like, if you do that in a movie, it's over. Unless the predator can come back from like
can there not
being
be
chopped
something?
Up
can there not
into
be
little pieces?
Yeah. Can there not be something else they can be doing in the meantime? Like, I don't know. I'm like when she was trying to tighten her, I think tie the rope back around her tomahawk or something like that to tighten a thing, or an arrow. I forget what it was. Oh, her bow. Her bow broke. And so she was like retightening it, and her dog was like leading this bear away, and then it like came back. And like at least she's not just standing there with her mouth hanging open.
And she had her tomahawk, which she could throw so precisely.
When the bear was pretty huge,
But she's diddling around with this bow and arrow that she doesn't even know how to use clearly because she fucking missed.
Not her main weapon.
And she's got this tomahawk that she can glance at something and do a fucking direct hit on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, she could have killed the bear with her tomahawk.
But I think they don't want to like wear out the tomahawk gimmick.
No, they just want to build up any
But also,
kind of
if you
tension.
see her using the tomahawk every time and being successful with it, like then at the end, it's not like this. Whoa! Yeah. It's like they have to like reserve it for like the top boss. You
well,
know?
then maybe they shouldn't show these freaking montages
of
her being like the fucking best of the best, like sharpshooting, whatever tomahawk thrower.
Yeah, when are we gonna see that in action?
You know, you show her chopping like a butterfly in half with her tomahawk. I'm sorry.
Just FYI, that's not an actual scene.
It's not.
If you're getting your hopes up.
But still, if you show something like that, and then you show her in the next scene not using that weapon that she's like a freak with, it's just unrealistic. Just don't put that scene in then of her being a master of that weapon.
I get why they have to like save it. They gotta save it. Because then the whole time you're just like rooting for her. And then when she finally does, you're like, yeah, but does she even? Does she even use it on the...
A person with sense would drop the fucking bow that is falling apart.
Yeah, just a stinky little twig.
You wouldn't be, I gotta get my bow back together while this bear is charging at me at like 30 plus miles an hour.
Yeah, I don't think that arrow would do anything. And I don't think the tomahawk would do much either, but probably do more damage than the arrow.
Point is...
All right.
You wouldn't fucking diddle around with your broken ass fucking
You're
weapon.
So angry. Do you actually enjoy watching these movies?
You would pull out your working weapon and take your chances with that.
Okay.
That's what is frustrating.
All right. I'll have a word with them.
Please do.
What did you give your rating of the movie though?
I'd probably give it like an 8.
Yeah. Super
Even though
entertaining.
I got fucking frustrated
Super entertaining,
with shit.
yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing that we just have captions on because he's just like in those scenes he's just talking like nonstop.
I'm sorry.
So no,
I need to learn to shut up. It's just
because you get so worked up and I'm just like, oh my god. I'm already tense from this movie and then you're just like increasing that tension.
Pull your fucking tomahawk out. She's just sitting there like fumbling around with this broken bow. Pull your fucking tomahawk out.
You just gotta relax and kind of more passively like let the experience roll over you. You know? You're like, I can't.
Or know about bears. Because I'm sure as fuck she knew about bears and she would know that if she was anywhere near him and, what is it? Upstream? No.
Mm-hmm. Upwind? Downwind?
Upwind.
Yeah.
If you're upwind from a bear, I mean, they can smell you.
Yeah.
And she
knew that.
Should have fucking known that.
Yeah.
And then
she sat there and let it like come around the rock and
charge her again.
And instead of just like, pretty sure I'm upwind. I'm gonna just like crawl backwards and skedaddle on.
She could have left from the beginning. When she saw the fucking bear, she could have grabbed her dog and been like, "We need to get the fuck out of here." But
obviously, the bear conflict, kind of introduces you to the might of the predator because she sees him take down a grizzly, I assume.
It would have been more, I think, realistic or understandable to have her like walking casually, not really paying attention, and then like slide down the embankment and there's a fucking bear. And then it starts chasing her.
But you'd still be mad because you'd be like, watch where you're going. You're supposedly like a tracker.
You would.
And a native, who's familiar with the land, and you just fell over your own feet. You'd still be mad.
But it would make more sense than being like, there's a bear. I'm going to go fuck with it.
Right. And I'm going to burp and blow it in his direction. So he's like...
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking exactly.
Okay. But the chain of events, it's just like building to the, the big face-off. And like showcasing the predators'
insane
skills.
Yeah, that's another thing that I think is kind of annoying about Predator is it uses this insane technology that no other animals or humans have.
Right.
So it's like, is it really a fair fight if you're, using your invisibility cloak and your...
Stop calling it that.
what would you call it? Your cloak,
Harry Potter.
Your cloaking system?
Device. Yeah.
Cloaking device.
Yeah.
And all your explosives and shit.
I think there's like this assumption that we've come to that he or they are like honorable killers,
like,
but really it's just like trophy hunting or bow hunting, like you said, with deer. Like,
why not just roll in with a fucking tank?
Yeah.
It's basically the equivalent.
Well, it's a little more entertaining, I'm sure, for him to, use his devices and not just, roll over him with
He uses whatever. Explosives and shit.
But that's like when he's kind of desperate and surrounded, isn't it?
And tracking...
Yeah.
What would you call it? Bolts?
Oh, right.
It shoots the, like, basically what are crossbow bolts. Mm-hmm. But it has, like, a tracker, so he doesn't even have to aim. It just automatically shoots at them.
Yeah. It's a little bit of bullshit, because I think if he was fighting on their level and just bigger and stronger, you could even kind of be like, oh, fair enough. He's like a little bit of a level playing field, but there's just no way.
Yeah, and you're invisible on top of it.
And their guns take 10 minutes to reload, so not really fair. And she's got, basically wood and stone.
Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of bullshit.
Yeah. But all that aside... really entertaining. Really entertaining. Cool to see. I mean, I don't know how Native people feel about the portrayal, but I thought it was cool. I thought the cinematography was cool. The environment was just nice to see a new environment and kind of have it be like a prequel. Oh, and then, it's a spoiler with the thing.
We already spoiled so much.
Okay.
What is it?
Well, but it's a little bit of like not quite an Easter egg, but like a prequel Easter egg kind of thing that's just...
All right, so spoiler alert, she's going to say something.
Well, no, it's just when what kind of gun is it that she gets?
Oh, yeah, the old...
Does she pull it off of him, or does she get it?
It's like one of those old gunpowder
But she gets it, and it's the same gun that they give Danny Glover in the second one. Yeah. And I don't think it shows up in the first Predator. Who's
pretty cool though? A little bit of continuity
in Predator.
A little bit of more continuity.
Rafael Andolini refers to a Spanish-made flintlock pistol manufactured in 1715, owned by the pirate captain Rafael Andolini. I don't know if it's a real thing, but anyway, so that's just like a little nod. I guess they get it back in order to give it to Danny Glover in the second one. Yeah, but I definitely would recommend. And it's kind of cool that I'm surprised that it wasn't released in the theaters, but it was cool that it was released straight on Hulu on the 5th, I think, of August. So I don't know.
So she gets the gun, right?
Yeah, is it on him?
So does that imply that she is eventually beaten by a predator?
Or just hands it down probably, and then I don't know.
I think that's what that means, right?
Yeah, but I think
either she's beaten or whoever.
I think she might pass it down to her descendants, and then somehow the predators get it back.
Fuck.
I don't know. There's probably some like obvious. Are you okay?
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. I mean, are you all right? You're making a face. Did you get bit?
Splinters. In my feet.
From what?
From those fucking whatever that like. There's like some kind of moss or something around here that creates like little teeny tiny splinters.
Oh, yeah. And you're walking around with sockless feet, but I've been wearing flip flops and I haven't gotten any. Anyway, so I think that's about it for what we've watched lately. I would love recommendations for like supernatural thrillers or horror that's not super gory. I'm not about the gore.
We like the jump scares a little bit.
And but
or just movies in general.
Yeah, just kind of like smart horror movies, We'd love that. And it's
give them to
good
us.
To be back. It's good to be back. Sorry we've been gone so long, but it's just the situation was just a little challenging to keep on track with maybe I won't go into that. Anyway. Yeah, it's good to be back.
Yes.
Yes. And keep listening and like and subscribe and hit the bell.
Thank you for listening. Have a lovely week.
Watch out for them skunks.